Hello, my name is Russell Myers, independent for U.S. President for 2024. One of the reasons I ultimately decided to run for president was as an educational project, both for myself and for others who may wish to run, either for the 2024 election or for future elections. This may be boring to a lot of people, I know. Like most people, I expected that starting a campaign for president would be filled with all types of bureaucratic red tape. Turns out it is much simpler than I expected. To announce a campaign takes no money and not even any paperwork. You do not have to file your campaign with the Federal Election Commission until you have either spent or raised $5,000. Then it becomes mandatory to file within 10 days of reaching that amount. At some point, you are going to have a dedicated bank account for your campaign. As yet, I have not established a dedicated bank account. I will establish a bank account if I ever get near $5,000 in spending or collection of donations. For now, I will merely save all of my receipts. There is no rule which states that you have to have a PR department, advisors, or anything of the kind. I will be forming focus groups and an advisory steering committee along the way. These will be composed of real people, not wealthy donors, not PR propagandists. If you run as an independent, you have a lot more freedom to run your campaign as you choose. However, that comes with the trade-off that your chances of being elected will be much smaller. In that case, you better have something different to offer than the political status quo. If you are an unknown and have nothing to offer but the same old thing, there will be no reason for anyone to choose you over the candidate with major corporate backing. If you run with a major party, then your chances of being elected are actually even less. To run with a major party, you can, as Trump did, announce you are running under the GOP banner. Surprise, surprise. I was amazed he was able to get the nomination. With the DNC, it is more difficult. They have rules allowing the party chair the power to decide who can run and who cannot. In most cases, on either side, your chances are much higher if you have already served time in elected office in Congress. Yet, that is, obviously, still no guarantee of anything. At the very least, you will have to get the backing of your state DNC or GOP party if you want any backing by your chosen party. If you are running anything of a standard campaign, something you may want to learn to do early on, or hire someone to do, is write a press release and submit it to all the major news outlets and maybe some independent news sources as well. I am not doing that. I absolutely intend for this to be something of a guerrilla campaign. With the nature of my campaign, if I wrote a press release and submitted it to corporate media, either it would be completely ignored and blackballed, or they would try to subvert any progress I made. I very much prefer that this be a fully grassroots campaign, and if it gets enough steam, it catches the establishment by surprise when they finally learn of it. By then, it will be too late to stop the campaign. Some things will cost you money. You'll want a website, so you will have to pay for the domain name and a web host. Then you will either need technical competency, either your own, a family member, a friend willing to help, or you will have to hire someone to build the website. You may or may not spend money promoting your website. But more on that in a minute. If you don't know accounting, you will need help, either volunteer or paid help. Both of the above can cost money for software, but there is a lot of free software, either for download or from your web host. For my website, the CMS system the site is built on came with the hosting package. However, it can take time, effort, and endless frustration testing various systems to find which one is right for you. I went through several which were either too difficult, too slow, or too unstable before I settled on the very simple design I now have. It's fast, easy to edit, it's stable, and I can add to it later if I need to. If you don't have a widely established public presence, you can expect traffic on your site to be slow at first. So you can go with shared hosting for your website. Just be sure and check the uptime history of the web host, because you want at least 99% uptime, preferably 99.9%. However, if you have an established presence, you will want to go with dedicated hosting. How much storage you need depends on what kind of website you create. I do not advise hosting your own videos. That takes lots of space and lots of bandwidth. Yeah, it is much better uploading to YouTube, Rumble, or Vimeo. If you start off slow, but gain more attention, then you will later have to transfer your site over to dedicated hosting. Discuss the needs with your web host, because they can analyze your traffic patterns and needs. For a modern audience, posting videos is almost mandatory. Almost. Creating a channel on most video hosting platforms is free. With some, like Rumble, you get to choose your channel name, as long as it's not already taken. With YouTube, you cannot choose an actual channel name until you reach 100 subscribers. For videos, you will obviously need a camera, lighting, and a good microphone. Then it all depends on what style of videos you create. This can be rather inexpensive or very, very expensive. For my own videos, I'm using a vlog style. I would be doing this style even if I had a fortune to spend. I prefer the intimacy it imparts rather than some flashy, non-stop advertisement which comes across as fake as it is. I want listeners to be focused on the message, not distracted by constantly changing backgrounds and rapid-fire, meaningless imagery voiced over by someone sounding like they're announcing a WWE match, or a female voice sounding like someone just died. I like to think that the more people see me as a human being, they will understand I see them as just as human, someone that they can relate to and who relates to them on a very real level. Again, you'll need software, unless you hire someone who has the software. There is some very good and widely used software which is free to download. It would be nice to donate money to the projects that create the software that you use. I use OBS for video capture. DaVinci is a good editing program. Both are used in the film industry. There is a learning curve to each one if you have not used them. If you're somewhat tech competent, you can have the basics down in one day and expand your skills as you go. For your website and video channel, you need at least some basic graphic design for banners, logos, etc. You also need some basic graphic design for promotional materials, buttons, stickers, business cards, bumper stickers, etc. In some cases, promotional materials websites have templates you can use and fill in blanks. Don't make your logo or banner too colorful or complex, because it can wind up costing a lot more to reproduce. Aside from recognition as election material, there are definite reasons that buttons, stickers, and so forth have very common and simple patterns. Larger images, including bumper stickers, have more room for detail. You may well want to spend money on advertising, though keep in mind the budgets of major candidates reach into the hundreds of millions and possibly even $1 billion. So, where you advertise should be considered carefully. For small campaigns, this can be crucial. Just paying for a general advertising method could see your advertising money completely wasted. As for getting on state ballots, that's a much more difficult and complex issue, which I may cover in a later video. Whether independent or party, you'll need to gather a lot of signatures and in some cases pay fairly hefty fees to be listed on a state ballot. I'm not concerned with state ballots just yet. Got a long way to go. Whether I ever start getting on state ballots will be determined later. For now, it's about getting a message out. Last thing, no matter how seriously you take the duties of office if elected, keep a sense of humor about yourself. Always be able to laugh at your mistakes and minor stumbles. Don't get caught up in the petty identity struggles and Jerry Springer show displays. This country has definitely had enough of that. Have fun with your campaign. Meet people. Listen to people. I mean, really listen. Take notes. Make friends. Don't use people. Don't look at people as things to manipulate. Be real, be honest, be human. I hope to see a lot more of you announcing your own campaigns in the near future. So, share this video, talk about these subjects, let me know what your thoughts are, and do you think that you may ever start your own campaign? I would love to hear it. So, post it in the comments, and I will catch you in the next one.